Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Limited Edition Legacy Figure Set. I guess I shouldn't call it a set because I almost made it sound like they all come together, but this is basically a wave entirely made up of metallic versions of the already released Core 5 MMPR Rangers, with the other sort of quote-unquote enticing draw being that they actually come with weapons. That's how they decided to release the weapons. I'll get into probably a little ramble about that at the end, but for now, let's just go over the figures. Much like with usual, that was a weird sentence, or like usual, there we go, that's better-ish, I'll give it a C. I'll just go over the articulation for a guy and a girl mold since they're largely the same, obviously with a key difference between pink and yellow being the skirt piece. But anyway, that's enough pre-introduction, so taking a look at it, I do think, for the most part, setting aside Black Rangers, which we'll get to in a second, that the metallic coat does look pretty good. And the main reason I picked these up, other than just, you know, because I'm a reviewer and review things, was actually not for the weapons. I did not care about that as much. I actually did kind of dig the idea of having metallic figures because it actually was a mode in the show, and I think it doesn't look half bad. I mean, this is the same exact mold, so all the details you got from the original, the sculpt, is the same. It's just a little bit more of a metallic-y one, and I think for the most part it looks good. Now what I think they could have done is they could have given them the ninja coins, since it was season 3 when they got this mode. I think that would have been a cool little thing to make it more worth it for more completionist fans. Here's the power sword that it comes with, which is the main draw of it, which is overall pretty well done. Maybe not quite as good as figure arts, but it's pretty close. It's got a bit of that almost metallic see-through-esque color to it, but it's not too much that it totally separates it. You can even see it's got a pretty decent job of the Tyrannosaurus power coin up here. It's kind of hard to tell, especially with the camera, but they did a pretty good job on it. So at least they're nicely done. At least, like, imagine how bad this would have been if they're like, oh, exciting metallic line with weapons, and they were like the classic all gray or all black PR weapons. But so at least that's a thing. And like I said, at least the metallic coating looks somewhat decent. The articulation is pretty much what you've come to expect. You have the hinge joint here, all around motion. You got swiveling. You got swiveling here at his little fists. No interchangeable hands. You also get the holster, which you pop off, and the little blade blaster. I'm only going to pull this one out. And honestly, I almost don't even care about these. They're basically identical to the ones you already got. They're just, again, slightly done in that metallic, almost see-through-esque version. It's just, yeah, so that's a thing. By articulation here, you got the ball joint, you got the knee joint here, singular. Is it double? I guess it's singular. It's a double. I think it's double. I'm going to say it's double, not the rider. Then you have a little ball joint here, so you can actually get some pretty good motion there. You have the weird hinge joint on his chest, and the head and neck have articulation as well. You can do creepy stuff, move up and down. I mostly have solid joints for everyone. The only one that I think I have a loose joint on is yellow. But yeah, they're still solid. Like, setting aside some of the more controversial paint issues and all that, the Legacy figures aren't perfect, but I think they're pretty decent figures. Let's go for yellow, since we were just talking about here. Damn it, Jason / Rocky / Comic Jason / well, I forget his name from Geki Ranger, but he doesn't matter. From Geki Ranger. His name's Geki! Oh my god, that's amazing. Wow, that made this review. Anyway, so here's Yellow, who also I think looks pretty solid. She doesn't look quite like the metallic one would in the show, but that kind of makes sense because, you know, I don't think they were going for that. I honestly believe it's sheer coincidence that there was an MMPR metallic mode. I think they're just like, how do we sell them these weapons? Speaking of the weapons, here's the daggers. Also pretty well done. This one you can more clearly see on the camera the saber-tooth tiger detail, so that's a thing. They can't combine or anything, but overall it's fine. Same articulation. My legs on her are a little bit loose. It makes it sound like I put my legs on her. That sounded weird. Now this got weird. Wow, this is a review. Got to make this entertaining since I'm reviewing the same figures again. Swiveling there, double knee joint. It's on a bit of a clicky hinge. You can't really hear it, but I can feel it, and that's what's important. Wow, that was weird too. Anyway, ball joint here. You know what? I'm done with you. I wish the holsters were molded on. That's a blanket complaint I'm going to bring up in all Legacy reviews from now on. It's just annoying for me when I'm opening these to have to put them on, and then when I'm getting ready for the review and doing the review, they're always falling off. I'm over it. Same basic head articulation as the guys have, just on a little bit of a skinnier mold. They actually have the proper sort of hula waist joint, which is a lot more fluid and natural compared to the guys, which is, I don't know why. Like, it's not a huge bother for me. Like, it wouldn't be a reason I didn't pick up any figure, but it does seem weird, like, that they did that hinge join. Like, I can't even think of any toys that I've either collected or, you know what, you're gonna go over here and lie down too, that I've collected or seen that have that. It's weird. All right, here we got Billy. Once the camera focuses on him, I think his metallic actually is one of the stronger ones. I think it actually looks pretty cool. It's pretty snazzy. Again, I would love for them to have the movie coins. Here's the power lance. It doesn't separate into the two modes, but at least you get the power lance. It's more normal looking. But yeah, I think he's probably my favorite, at least in terms of what they're trying to do with the metallics. Beta books. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Pink here. We got to talk. Wow. The end of the review is literally just going to be these guys in a pile. That's a promise. I'm sorry, Billy, that you're going to get punished for actually standing up straight, but I'm done with these guys. Like, anyway, so here's Pink. So here's my problem with her. I actually have a couple problems, so buckle in. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But her head is like the same color as the original recipe one, or at least mostly. Even if not, it doesn't match the metallic one. Everybody else, except maybe Black Ranger, which we'll get to, has like the metallic body, and then their helmet, for the most part, matches it. Yellow's is a little harder to tell, but it does. Maybe hers does too, and I'm just not seeing it because I'm blind. But it just seems like it's off. Like, her metallic is a little bit more subtle, in my opinion at least, but you can still tell it. It looks like the regular head on it. And it's not a huge stark contrast, but it's a contrast. She has the same articulation as Yellow. Like I said, just the skirt piece is going to hinder it a little bit. Although this side was like oddly stretched out, so that just kind of showcases that you can sort of make it a little bit more easy to deal with over time. Here you got the power bow, or yeah, the power bow, and it's pretty basically detailed. It would have been, honestly, pretty hard to mess this up. You just had to print something white and put a few little strips on it. Now, she's the only figure that does have an interchangeable hand. She has this holding the arrow hand, which you can switch out, and it does come with an arrow, which is nicely painted. It's specifically designed to go in this hand, but it will not stay in it. Maybe there's some people that have bought it where it stayed more, but not mine. Okay, so let's get the pile ready. Let's just do that. So that'll be fun. That'll be the thumbnail. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be funny though. Okay, here's Black Rangers. Now, Black Ranger is my personal favorite of the original designs. So, one plus of this, I don't know if you can tell, can you tell he's metallic? Because I can't. But one plus is, we finally got a version without the wrong painted belt. So here they are side by side. Now, you can tell a difference, but also you can't. Like this, in the store, if it wasn't for the axe in it and the little sticker on the packaging that says it comes with an axe, I could hardly tell he was metallic. I think in the show, if I remember, it comes off almost more silvery, but I could be imagining it. I also could be thinking about the old shiny movie figures, but yeah, you can hardly tell, which is a negative for having this metallic set, but as a positive, that way, actually you can tell more that way. There is a difference, but the point is, if I take him away, never brought him in. This is a new timeline where I never did that. You can hardly tell, in my opinion. And so, but at least I have one that's basically a normal Black Ranger figure with the correct belt. But yeah, and here's the power axe, which is looking pretty cool. I think he has the most prominent coin design where you can really tell what it is. But yeah, it's not a bad looking figure. It's just, I like it as much as the other one except for the paint thing here. But yeah, you can hardly tell. Okay, final verdict here. Overall, this is a weird release to recommend. Unless you're like me and you're a completionist or you really want metallic figures to represent the Season 3 armor in some way, I can't really wholeheartedly recommend this. I guess there might be people out there that really want the weapons, but even then I can't recommend it for that. If you really like dig one, I don't think you'll be that disappointed because like they're not bad figures. They're just as good as the stuff I liked about the regular ones and they come with a weapon. But it's just the way they released was so messy because I don't want to hear the nonsense about their budget problems because it's all fake to me because you can walk down the aisle and literally find 3 to 5 examples of identical toy lines that are pulling this off, and Bandai is acting like they're pioneering this and can't figure out how to handle a figure line like this. But my point is, with these, I think what I would have done is, since I do actually kind of want a metallic set, like it's not on the top of my list of things I wanted, but since it was in the show, I can at least justify it. I think this should have been a 5-figure or 6-figure with the White Ranger. I think they did a metallic version for New York Comic Con exclusive, but 5 or 6 Ranger, Toys R Us exclusive set, metallic armor from Season 3, perfect. I'd buy it. It's not, you know, a requirement. You don't have to hunt down all these figures individually. What I would have done is released the Red Ranger, he's down here somewhere, with the gold armor from the Green Ranger, or the Black Ranger with the Green Ranger armor, or a dual set of the Red and Black Rangers with the green armor that came with the Power Blaster and its weapons. That would have been perfect. Then you can get the weapons for your figures if you own them, and you can get some new figures, and I know that the Red Ranger with the gold armor is at least somewhat popular. I think that would have been a better way to tackle it. I know I've talked about this topic before in a couple of videos, and people have always said they should just release the weapons individually. I don't think that would do so well. If there was a premium Bandai set, like they do in Japan, I think that could be a possibility, but that would not sell well at retail. I can almost say that with 100% confidence. But so, that's my take on what I would have done, but I've rambled on long enough. Bottom line is, these aren't awful figures, but the way they're handling this is awful. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dawson Ryder, signing out.